Hello, everybody. Spider here once again. The Fight Card Podcast, being joined by professional heavyweight mixed martial artist Rakim Cleveland. My man, how are you, bro?
Man, I'm doing great. Just gearing down and getting ready for next week.
No, yes, man, and I want to thank you because you are a week away from returning back to Bellator MMA, and of course, it's going to be next Friday. And I thank you for making a few minutes for me, man. I do appreciate this.
Yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate you, sending me the invite and reaching out. It's always good to talk to people.
No, no, yes, and the fact that we're closer to fight time, a lot of times I'm like, man, I'll wait because I'm like, you know what, it's crunch time. You guys are getting ready mentally, physically, and let me ask you because the fight is 1 week away. Are you still training this week, or are you kind of just stretching out, getting the weight down, or what are you doing?
No, I'm training. Of course, training is a little bit different than the normal. But yeah, I'm training. Training every day. This week, um, really just this fulfilling and working the game plan and um, mostly staying loose. Staying loose, staying sharp, keeping my timing up. You don't want to really sit back too much.
No, no, yeah, man. You want to get too cold, and then the muscle gets tight on you, man.
That's right.
And let me ask you, man, because I brought this up earlier. You made your pro debut back in 2010. And that was during the time. I know. I mean, I was covering the sport back then, even, and
Mhm.
it was during the time that a lot of guys they went straight to pro. Man, they had no amateur record, no experience, and then that was the case with you, correct?
No, no. It's I didn't go straight pro. I was amateur for 2 years. I actually fought a bunch. In those 2 years, I fought 20 times. That's before commission really stepped in and took over. I started fighting when I was in college up in Iowa,
Oh,
training with Josh Neer and Jeremy Stevens and all those guys really before Jeremy took off. Where he was still kind of fighting local. He had just got signed to the UFC and stuff back then. And
oh, that,
Josh was already in. Josh was fighting 55 back then, if you believe it or not.
oh yeah, that was way
Yeah.
back when, man.
Yeah, that's back. That's back when he fought Melvin Gillard and guys like that way back when. But it wasn't really recorded um, as like it is now. So it was a little crazy. It was kind of like the Wild Wild West
Oh
when
yeah.
it came to MMA.
When you showed up and you were like, you know what, how much do you weigh? Okay, you're gonna fight this guy. You
Yeah,
know.
exactly. Like, um, there's a it was a place that they held fights like every Wednesday, and I was in college playing college ball and stuff. But like during the off season, we'd go, and either you paid $10 to get in, or you can sign up and fight. So I was like, oh fuck, I'll fight somebody, whatever. It's no big deal to me.
Yeah, man. And I gotta ask, man, because you see, I'm glad I asked because I mean it doesn't show on your record. And I was thinking, man, because I know guys too that started like before 2010 and they got like over 80 fights and only like 20 something are recorded because of that. You know, the commission wasn't involved. Like you said, nobody really kept up with it. And now it's a lot easier to kind of backtrack and figure out who's fighting, who's fought so long or whatnot, man, because it happened back in the day. People were like, "Oh, I've got like 20 fights," and they come in green. So
Yeah, yeah. It's way different now. Commission took over, and they're kind of they got on top of like regulating things, which it's cool, but at the same time, I kind of liked how it was. And I was able to get in, get my experience real quick, and kind of learn on the fly. I was fighting probably like twice a month at certain points, and it was just like whatever.
yeah. And let me ask you, because even early in your pro career, man, I mean, you actually fought Derek Lewis twice.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, the guys up there in the UFC. I mean, seeing people like that making it. I mean, is that motivation for you?
Yeah, it's always motivation to see people that you've stepped in there with be successful. Um and it's a good feeling. Like, I was able to share the cage with Derek twice, and we kind of started off on a rough path as far as we had a little gym beef going on, I'd say. But after that second fight, we actually had a conversation. We talked, and we even trained together a little bit. So I mean, all that stuff's pretty cool, and I'm happy to see him be successful, and many other guys that I've stepped in the cage with be successful. That's always cool, and that shows you that not only did you step in there with good people, and and they're on the next level, that you didn't take the easy way through.
Right. No, yeah, man. Because I mean, you got like close to 40 professional fights, man. And I
Yeah.
gotta ask you, is there a fight that you went to that you didn't fight in?
uh yeah, I mean, there's a few fights I went to that I didn't fight in, that I've had teammates and I just went out to support. But yeah, most of the time, if I was at a fight, um, we rolled deep, um, and we'd have a couple coaches and a lot of teammates, and we'd be back there wrestling and warming each other up and cornering each other even before our own fights, and that's how the culture was. So not very many fights that I've went to that I wasn't on a card or part of the card, but there's just been a few. There's been a few.
You were like, "Are you sure? $10? Are you sure I can't fight on there, man?" Fight in
Yeah,
the
right.
Man, I mean, that's funny, man. But I can see that, bro. Because even like for me myself, I mean, I started in the sport back in 2002. Training in jujitsu and going through promotions. Before they allowed closed fists in Texas. Before the 4 ounce glove.
Mhm.
Back when we was doing open hand, and so it was some humble beginnings because a lot of my teammates, like we used to go to corporates and fight on wrestling mats, and it was like old school, man. But the fact that it was South Solis, I believe, was the first one to actually get a cage, get Renegades Extreme, of course, set up, and then from there it was like everybody wanted to fight for the guy because it was actually inside a cage. It was different.
Yeah, it's just having those walls around you is a different feeling for sure.
No, definitely. And let me ask you, since you bring that up, have you ever fought inside a boxing ring for MMA?
I have. I think like 3 times I've fought in the actual ring. It's definitely different. It is a advantage for a person who likes to strike because there's no fence to help a grappler take you down. Those ropes give so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely different.
No, you see, and the reason I asked is because of that. Because back when the guys were fighting in Pride, a lot of them came over to the UFC, and so they kind of felt that because the platform changed. They had to kind of adapt to. Okay, now I got to do the walk crawl, walk crawl, and get used to getting back up because in Pride you went through the ropes. They brought you back in, standing back up, and it
Yeah,
favored.
yeah, it definitely favors the striker when you can lean through those ropes or lean on those ropes, and they have so much give behind you. So it was definitely a benefit. If you were looking to fight in that style.
No, for sure, man. And let me ask you, man, because you've been in the sport for a minute. I mean, out of the close to 40 professional bouts or even amateur, is there one fight that you go back to that you remember that you had to like really dig deep to pull through it? I mean, that one that really motivated you?
Yeah, man. There's a couple, but one of the main fights was I stepped up. Um, I can call it step up a weight class, and I fought Rob Morrow, um, who was a really good striker. He's done some Bellator. He's won the heavyweight tournament for kickboxing for I think it's the XFC in Oklahoma. He just went over and fought in a bare knuckle boxing match in Russia versus USA.
Oh, okay.
He's a phenomenal striker, and he was the 205 champion for MCC, a promotion
Okay.
that a few people came from. Like Jeremy came from MCC, um, Johnny Case, and they produced some good guys. And at the time, I was fighting at 85, and he was the 205 champion, and he was cleaning people up. And then one day there was like, I think his opponent pulled out or whatever, like 2 weeks before the fight, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll fight him." And and
What?
yeah, it was like that. I think I weighed in at like 200 pounds, and we ended up going 5 rounds, man, and it was crazy because I remember he was one of the only people to like actually just flat out dropped me. Like he hit me, and it didn't really hurt, but he hit me, and I just remember like looking up, like, oh, what the fuck. And I was able to recover. But we went 5 rounds, and I remember like I think we were going into like the 4th round or something like that. And I was talking to my corners and in between rounds, and I was like, "What round is it?" I was like, "Shit." But yeah, that's definitely one.
Man, well, I mean, for sure, man. I mean, being in that position because I mean, you come from playing ball, like you said. Was that always an option to kind of stick with it, or was when ball was over? I mean, did you decide to just go ahead and start competing?
I actually stopped playing ball to compete. Um, I think I was going into my 3rd year of playing ball, and it was the end of my 2nd year of football. We ended our season. We had a great season, and we had like our end of the season evaluations, so one-on-ones with our coaches. And I kind of told them then, I was like, I don't think I'm coming back. And I was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm coming back. So um, I did that, and here I am now.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, you're getting to step back inside the Bellator cage, and I mean, this is the second time you've actually you're gonna fight for the promotion. Are you under contract with the promotion?
Yeah, I signed a multi-fight deal with them, and I'm thankful for the opportunity of them picking me up. And I look forward to this matchup. My first fight had a little bit of, it's crazy to say because I got so many fights, but I had a little bit of jitters. Like even one of my coaches said it. Like when I walked in the cage, he was like, "When you looked up and you looked around, I saw it in your face, and I was like, oh shit." And I had a little bit of jitters, but I'm definitely more comfortable this time around, and it's just different stepping up on a stage like this and getting an opportunity to compete.
No, I mean, and that just goes to show, man, because I had an interview a while back with another fighter that made it, that stepped up in as far as a promotion, right? And he said the same thing. He was just like, man, I mean, it wasn't until like people were like, man, you're gonna be on TV. There's gonna be all these thousands of people watching that he was like, holy shit, like, okay, it hit him. He got nervous, and I mean, after so many years of competing and going on stage, man, it was just weird for him, also.
Yeah, it's a different pressure, and then at the same time, you kind of put pressure on yourself, to perform, and that takes a toll also. But this time around, I'm more relaxed. I'm ready to go. I'm in better shape. I've been working hard to fix my flaws, and I look forward to cracking into this top 10.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I mean, because even with Bellator, man, I mean, it's a great opportunity. On this one, it is going to be on Friday. Do you guys normally spar on Fridays, like during the week?
Yeah, we spar Thursdays. We do pretty much boxing Fridays, and then Saturdays we spar. But it's a normal contact day for sure for me.
Right, right. And I gotta ask that only because a lot of promotions, I mean, they have their fights on Wednesdays, on Sundays, and I'm always like, man, what do you do on a normal Sunday? And they're like, man, I'm home watching TV, relaxing, and it's like you gotta get in that mindset to actually wake up Sunday morning knowing, okay, I'm gonna fight today.
Right, right.
You, man.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Like on those oddball days, you're like, like yeah, like PFL, we fought on Thursday a couple times, and I was just like, okay.
Because even Fury FC, they have fights on Sundays, other promotions on Wednesdays, and I'm like, man, I miss a lot of them because I'm like on the Wednesday, like, damn, I didn't even know there was a fight. But PFL's
Yeah,
one. They're actually going to Arlington, I believe, next month. So I think Wednesday, Thursday are the fight days, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to call the boss, tell him I ain't gonna make it, man.
yeah, right.
But as far as training, man, I mean, what does training consist of? I mean, what is it after so many years that you've added, or maybe you're still doing for training?
Um, lately I've been focusing on the grappling aspect a little bit more. Um, everyone knows I'm a strong striker, and you know, we knows what comes with that, which is takedowns and wrestling and stuff like that. So I've been definitely incorporating more of that realm into what I do. Um, so that and mostly staying healthy. I don't have to spar as much as I used to because you know I'm almost 60 fights in total. I know what I'm doing. Um, so I'm able to kind of sit back and focus on my weak spots.
You see, and that's another thing too, because I mean, I can only imagine back in the day when you guys were training, it was like a hard, sparring session, and throughout the years you realize, hey, I don't have to do that, go that hard. I mean, you save it for the ring, right?
Yeah, yeah. No reason to go out there and beat the crap out of each other, every other day. I see people do it now. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, man. By the time they get to the fight day, and that's where a lot of accidents happen too. People get cut, they get injuries, and I'm like, man, you gotta take it easy, man. Come fight night, come fight week, especially.
Yeah, I think probably about 70% of injuries happen in practice.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I mean, and it goes to show, man, because I mean, I'm more than sure, and I always talk to fighters, and I mean, I've been in the fight game, helping others people get ready for fights, and I mean, most of the time, fighters don't go 100%. I mean, there's always something, and I mean, I'm sure. Was there ever a fight that you went into that you had an injury that you just had to suck up and keep fighting?
Most of them really. Uh, it's rare that you go into a fight 100%. Really, if you go into a fight 100% with no kind of bumps and bruises, you probably didn't do a whole lot that count.
That's
There's always something sore, whether it's an ankle, hand, a wrist, elbow, shoulder. There's always something. You just gotta put your poker face on and kind of look past it for that moment.
Oh, definitely, man. Now, this fight, like you mentioned earlier, man, Bellator 277, it is going to be on a Friday. And as far as your opponent, man, I mean, what do you know about the guy? And I mean, is just your game plan already been set?
Oh, definitely. I'm fighting. Tyro Fortune. He's a top 10 opponent. That's why I say, it's my opportunity to crack into the top 10. He's ranked number 6 right now. Um, he's a phenomenal wrestler. Um, and everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. He knows it. Um, he's a big puncher. He's explosive, and I fought a lot of wrestlers. Especially fighting in the Midwest. So it's nothing really different than me. To me, I just look forward to I just got to stick to my guns. I stick to my guns. I do what I know I can do. I perform like I know I can. Um, you know, the only people that's going to be surprised is the people that don't know me.
Yeah.
When it comes down to the results of this fight, um, and that's just the whole game. Is he has the hype train behind him. Um, he has a lot going on. All of his fights are on the big stage for Bellator. Um, and then it's me, kind of like somebody that's coming out of nowhere, stepping up. And who is this guy? Type deal. So Diaz said it best. I'm not surprised,
There you
and
go.
I look forward to showcasing my skills and getting in there and getting it done.
No, definitely, man. I mean, I'm gonna be watching, man. I mean, I know that as far as like Bellator, I mean, PFL that you fought for. I mean, there's promotions as far as that you have competed for in the past, man. One being Legacy. I believe it was Legacy Fighting Championship, right? Before they got aligned with Renegade.
Yeah, back in the day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Woo.
As a matter of fact, there was one, the IXFC, I think it was the Chris Reed. I mean, may
Yep.
he continue to rest in peace, man. Of course, those promotions. I mean, Texas, I think they were here in Louisiana, so they were always back and forth. But
Yep.
I mean, you definitely come out from back in the day, man, and to see you here and see you actually getting this opportunity for Bellator Friday, man. I mean, I'm excited for you. I wish you nothing but the best, of course, for that bout and everything else that continues. As far as sponsors, man, let's talk sponsors, man. Who's helping you for this bout?
Man, I got a lot of support. You know, I'm aligned with the MMA coin. It's a crypto coin. Those guys have been, very supportive of my career. Jay Davis is a good friend of mine who's done a lot. Holistic Cloud, um, another company that I've been aligned with. Smith Property Services. These guys reached out to me and offered to you know, support me, and that's amazing. You know, people that really don't know me personally, but follow my career and what I've done. That's just amazing for me. Of course, you know, my training partners at USA Fight Company, at War Training Centers, um, Menus and More is another is a digital marketing company that have um, pretty much been backing me from the moment he's met me until now. Even when I'm not fighting, you know, is one of those people that's like, "Hey, man, I'm here for you.
Nice.
Let me know." You know, that's stuff like that. It's amazing. Um, Fighter Wife Just Designed. She makes all my fighting gear. It's actually my wife. She makes all my fight gear. She does my shirts and stuff like that. So if anybody likes any of my walkout shirts or any shirts they see me, you know, when I'm training and posting on pictures and stuff like that, um, look up Fighter Wife Jess Designs on Instagram. Hit her up. She does everything by hand, custom. Just tell her what you want, and she makes it.
Oh, nice. Sweet. I'm definitely gonna have to look that.
Yeah, yeah. Hats, beanies, hoodies, scarves. You know, pretty much anything that you can lay fabric on and print on and stuff like that. You can pretty much get done.
Sweet, man. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely. I mean, the fact that you're getting support from home. I mean, the wife, of course, man. I mean, it's got to be even better, right? I mean, because
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, without the family support, man, this stuff becomes that much tougher. You know, you always get those people, of course, that how long are you gonna be fighting for? You know, you're getting up there, and you know, how's your body feeling? How long? You know, it's not, it's not like that. It's, do it till you feel like you don't want to do it anymore, and
oh
that's awesome.
yeah, you see, and the fact that you guys can actually, at the end of the day, just say, okay, you know what, I did what I could, and walk away from the sport. I mean, I've seen a few here local that retired recently, and it's bittersweet, because we see you guys performing and fighting. But yeah, there comes a time. And let me ask you, man, because hopefully that'll be like years and years from now when you're done with the sport. But what can you see yourself doing after the sport, like within the sport? I mean, should I say?
Um, Definitely coaching. Um, I drop knowledge here and there to teammates, and I step in and I show techniques here and there, and I'll do the little things. I don't want to commit myself completely yet to the coaching realm because I am still growing myself, and it's kind of tough to you know teach and learn and teach and train and stuff at the same time. But definitely coaching. My dream is you know to potentially open my own spot one day, and just kind of see how that goes. So we never know. And then on top of that, I do a little bit of talent search and evaluations for Dream Sports Management. Um, so that's going pretty cool too.
Yeah, and I was gonna say because one of the things as far as like for fighters, man, it's getting into commentary, getting into pre-fight interviews. I mean, staying within promotions, just working the card, man. But I mean, those are always outlets and opportunities. But like I said, hopefully, years from now when you're said and done and everything's good. But like we mentioned earlier, man, Bellator MMA, of course, it's going to be next Friday. And my man, I do appreciate you giving me this few minutes. Is there any last minute things you want to say before we wrap this up?
Yeah, man. Tune in Friday night, April 15th, Bellator 277. Um, this is an amazing card. The main event is Patricky Pitbull versus McKee. The co-main event um, is Corey Anderson versus Nemkov. Uh, Dude, that's two banger title fights back to back, and then right before that, Tim Johnson versus Vasil, me versus Tyrell Fortune. I mean, there's so many good fights on this card that can potentially be lights out. Um, just tune in. Yeah, it's gonna be an amazing card down in San Jose, and I can't wait.
No, I mean definitely, and the best part is that you get to stick around and watch the co-main event and main event, man. So you'll have front seats, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. And you never know, you might see me down in the 205 division sometime too.
And there you go, man. There you go.
Hey, you never know.
I mean, Rakim, man, I do thank you, bro. Don't hang up yet. Everybody else, this is the Fight Card Podcast. Fighter here. Till next time. Follow up.